Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to look at some crayons and see if any of these would be useful in our grown-up art. Now there are some crayons here that are a little bit more fancy, if you will. The Art Stix from Prismacolor, sadly these were discontinued. Sometimes you can find these open stock at art stores that still have them, but they were discontinued a few years ago. They are like the lead from a Prismacolor pencil in a stick form, woodless form. And we have the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 1 crayons. These are my favorite of the wax crayons. They are a fairly soft, very pigmented wax pastel. And the other kind of grown-up product we have would be the Davenport Power Pastels. These to me feel much more like a crayon than an oil pastel, so I did add them to the crayon comparison. So we're going to take a look at those. The other ones that I have are the Crayola Color Stix. These are, the package is in rough shape. I think I ordered the last one on Amazon from a seller, but the sticks were fine. These are very much like the Art Stix, but made by Crayola and much, much cheaper. So we're going to see how those perform. I have Crayola Twistables, which are kind of fun to play with. I got these a few years ago, and they come in different types of crayons. You can get solid color. They also have these that have like several colors in them, so they're kind of fun. There's also ones that are made by Mr. Sketchy that have a little bit of a, or Mr. Sketch that have a little bit of a scent to them. Of course, these don't smell very much now because I've had these for a few years, but we've got those. Then I found these at Joann Fabrics. They are called, actually I have the package here, they're called Crayola Project crayons, and this is the package they came in. 12 crayon pencils designed for science posters and science fairs. No sharpening, smooth, vibrant color and coverage on poster boards. So I thought these might be similar to the Neocolor ones. And then these other two are actually recommended by a viewer who does a lot of crayon art. And they recommended the Bic Plastic crayons. Plus, these are Plasticor, is that how it's said? Plasticor. So they're a plastic crayon rather than a wax crayon, so we'll see what that means. And then these Deli Color Emotion plastic crayons, which again are supposed to be a little bit more like the Caran d'Ache. You can see there, they just look gorgeous. So I have played with these a bit, but not in a while, and I've been planning this video for about 8 months, and I just now kind of have the mental headspace to dig in. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is kind of swatching these out on some different papers, seeing how they feel, and yeah, I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. I'm starting off by swatching the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 1. They are my favorite, as I mentioned before. So what I'm going to do here is just show you these two swatches on white and black drawing paper. I just grabbed kind of some rainbow colors, and you can see they're just beautiful, saturated colors. I did the black there, I did the white there, very pigmented, very opaque for most of their colors, and just gorgeous. So let's see if any of these other colors can come close to this. I'm going to go through and label and swatch these other ones, and we'll see how they do. I'm also going to do the Art Stix because they are lovely, even though they are discontinued. I think that this would be really handy to have that as a basis of comparison because a lot of people really loved these and can't get them anymore. I think that these are quite similar. They're a little bit harder. They are less opaque, which isn't a big deal if you're using them on white. They're essentially Prismacolor leads, so you know how Prismacolor is fairly opaque. And I am coloring them, I don't know, firm pressure, I'd say. Not like white knuckled or anything, but you can see they're equally as vibrant on white. But I'm just going to go through here and do that with the Art Stix as well. The Art Stix are a little bit crumblier than the Neocolor 2 crayons, but other than that, I thought the vibrancy was pretty similar there. I'm going to do the Crayola Color Stix next because I think if any of these have potential to be similar to the Prismacolor Art Stix, it's them. Wow, that yellow is nice and opaque on black. I'm just using a smooth black drawing paper. This is what these look like. I think you can still get them out like probably big box stores, maybe Walmart. Definitely I would think Michael's, definitely online, like at Bic. Any place that sells Crayola products. Boy, that's all right. These are a hexagonal shape. And if I recall, I think I paid probably, and this was Amazon, so it might have been a little bit more expensive. I think I paid around $12 or $16 for this set of, I think it's 24 colors. So not bad when you're considering what the Prismacolor Art Stix cost. And it is kind of weird. These have like a really sharp edge because they're new. I haven't really used them much. They're not quite as pigmented as the Art Stix, but you know, they're really not bad, honestly, for the price. That color is very similar. Maybe that's one I just used. No, I don't think so. You can see the wax bloom on the outside of the these crayons. It's much more, if you look at like the Prismacolor in those, the Crayolas are much more waxy. That's why they have that white haze. And there's very little haze on the Neo colors, but they have a little bit of it. So I mean, that's not uncommon, but they definitely are brighter than they look in the package. I think I'll skip to this one. I don't need to have every color there. These are a pretty hard product, meaning that you know, actually all of these have taken about the same amount of like elbow grease, I would say, to apply. You know, I'm not disappointed with these Crayola ones, to be honest. I'm not really that familiar with Crayola colored pencils. I don't have any sets of those kicking around. I did get some to do a comparison on kids' pencils a few years ago. It was probably at the beginning of the pandemic, so I was trying to find, you know, everybody was home and parents were having to homeschool their kids, and so I wanted to do a video on what you could use, you know, what would be good, you know, what are decent brand or supplies you could get at like Walmart or the drugstore, because most stores couldn't be open at the beginning of the pandemic. So I chose like you know, kids grade pencils you could get at Target or Walmart or places that were allowed to be open. So far my favorite packaging has been the Caran d'Ache because it's easier to get them in and out. So I think what I'm going to do is find a tin that I can store these in. I'm really impressed with the quality of the these color sticks. Are they called color sticks? Crayola color sticks. I'll link to all these down below. I'll link to them at Amazon and Bic, but Bic often has a better price. It may seem like they wouldn't because they're a fancy art store, but often they do. I think I like coloring with these a little bit better once they get a little more rounded. I am seeing some more shine on the Crayola, and I just think that's probably due to the amount of wax that they have in them. But the wax can also help things become opaque, so yeah, it just depends on what you like. I don't think I used that one, did I? Okay, we'll do the black and the white comparison so we can see how the black holds up to the Caran d'Ache. Actually, the Crayolas are not as, they don't leave as many crumbs as the Art Stix did. So Art Stix are no longer available, and the Crayolas, the color sticks are. So wow, those actually held up really well. I am very impressed. So these are much cheaper than those. I can't remember what those sold for. These I think are about $60 for the set of 40, which is the biggest set that they have, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, boy, I think all three of those performed really, really well. I'm working with the Deli plastic crayons here, and they're softer, they're easier to color with, they're vibrant on white, but they definitely do not show up on the black very well. However, I think if you wanted a crayon to use in like an adult coloring book with white pages, I think that these would work pretty well for that. They are a bit crumbly, kind of like the Art Stix were, but even a little bit more so. They're just not as pigmented. I mean, these are meant for kids too. I think these plastic crayons are a little bit stronger. They're a little bit firmer. They're less likely to break than a regular crayon. So, and they do cost more. So, you know, some people do buy these for their kids, but they are. Whoops! I totally got out of the groove coloring there. But that's right. We can still see the gist of it. But yeah, these are definitely more like your traditional crayon, and I think that, yeah, I don't think these would be as suitable for artist use, but I think they definitely would be really nice for kids, or if you want to work in a coloring book and you know, you had some strength issues, you wanted a softer crayon. You could see all the crumbs that are there on the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but let's look at the black and white. Let's just see in case we've got some well, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it's definitely not as opaque in person. And let's try the black here. The black's is actually quite opaque. The black's really nice. So there you go. Definitely weaker colors. Now let's look at and these, I did go and figure out prices here. I paid $7 for the set of 24 here. The Crayola color sticks were $20 for 24. I actually paid $13 for 24 because it was a damaged package on Amazon, so I opted for that one and it was cheaper, but they have them for $20 for 24 right now. I think that's a good price. The Art Stix are not available, and the Neocolor ones are $60 for 40. Now let's look at the deli crayons and see how those are. I'm sorry, those were the delis. These are the Bic Plastidecor. Let's start with this really light. Ooh, actually. Ooh, look at that. These seem to be more pigmented than the deli. Oh, look at that. They are, and they were cheaper. They were $6 for 24. The deli was $7 for 24. Ooh, that's nicer. Not quite as pigmented. Well, you know, it's actually looking kind of like the Art Stix. Let's go with this one here. They're soft like the deli, but they do have a little bit more pigmentation, it seems. Let's go to orange. Less crumbs than the deli. Let's go to this red. These do feel, both of these last two feel a little bit more like your traditional crayon than like an art crayon, though, I will tell you that. But I did actually dig up a box of Crayola, so we'll compare as well with the Crayola. I might do the regular Crayolas next, because I have the Twistables. Let's go to this pink. Yep, the Bic Plastidecor definitely are more vibrant, less crumbly, and a little bit more opaque compared to the deli, but they're pretty similar. All right, I want to finish this off camera because I'm sure this is, oh, that pink is nice and opaque. I'm sure this isn't very exciting, but I'm going to go through the rainbow in this, and then we'll come back. I decided to quickly swatch out some of the original, just classic Crayola crayons, just to get a little bit of another baseline, kind of like they got the higher end baseline with the Caran d'Ache, and I want to get I want to say lower end, because Crayola crayons make a good crayon as far as kids crayons. They're good, but very weakly pigmented on black, okay on white. A little bit crumbly, kind of sticky and gummy feeling compared to these others. I wanted to show you that the Bic Plastidecor and the deli crayons both left a lot of crumbs. I don't know if that's going to show up, but I'm going to brush those off so they don't get into the other colors. But even just that gentle brushing, I've got like all these little specks there. So yeah, probably not the cleanest product for for fine art use, but they are better than the regular Crayola crayons. So the next one I want to look at would be the Crayola Twistables and the Mr. Sketch Twistables, which they seem to be quite similar. The Mr. Sketch ones are a little bit longer, so I'm going to pull those out. These are very affordable. The Mr. Sketch ones are 12 for $10, and the Crayola Twistables you can get 50 mini ones for $10, or 24 of the ones with these kind of like funky patterns here for $13. So the Crayolas are quite a bit less, but we're gonna compare them. We're gonna see. I think what I had was this. I might have had a couple different sets, but so yeah, about 50 cents to like 10 cents. Would that be right? 50 times, no, so 20 to 50 cents roughly. And these are just under $1. So let's do the Mr. Sketch ones first. I don't think they have any smell left, but they're very smooth, not crumbly at all. Oops, let's do that on the black. Make sure we're on in camera there. Very similar to the Bic ones, I would say. Oh shoot, I should have left a gap. Hold on a second. I'm doing these out of order. All right. I didn't know how I was going to organize these. I started off so strong. Oh, look at that. That's so rich. I'm going to go to red. Oh, let's do, oh, that's a Crayola. Back in there. I'm not smelling anything on these anymore. They were Mr. Sketch, so they're supposed to be scented, but the scent has worn away after a few years. Not using any technique, I'm just getting the color down. Fairly opaque on the, and I don't have a white. So very limited color palette there. I do have a brown I could swatch out. You know, they're kind of opaque. They're definitely vibrant on the white. Let's try the Crayola Twistables. Well, the rest of them are Crayola, so I feel like the Crayola feel a little bit smoother. I'm just going to X that. We'll start over here. Maybe a little, just a touch less opaque than the Sketchies. But less crumbly. And I think also, if you're watching this because you're an adult coloring book enthusiast and you're thinking about just maybe getting some crayons, these would be very clean to use. Let's do red next. That's not very vibrant. Maybe I have a better one. Let's try this one. Now Crayola does offer like color crayons for dark paper. I don't know if they do in the twistable range, but they do have like construction paper crayons and all sorts of different crayons. I'm just going with the basics. And let's do a couple of blues. Dark blue. Yeah, I feel like the Mr. Sketchies overall were more vibrant. Let's see how the white and the black does. Oh, the white's alright. Let's see. That was the original Crayola white. Whoops. Oh gosh, there's the bright white. There's the original white. And let's just try a black really quick. Nope, that's not black. it's not, the black's okay. It's not as, it's probably the least black of the other ones, but it's all right. It's all right, but I would probably not really recommend the Crayola Twistables. I think they're a great product for what they are as far as like a kid's crayon, but I don't think they're going to have that much use in an fine art, I don't know, or even like a hobby, adult hobby type of project. Next I want to try these Crayola Project crayons. And I'll be giving away the crayons I don't want to keep and use to my friend with a daycare. So don't worry about wastage, please, because they won't go to waste. All right, these I was very excited about. I like the way these feel. They remind me of China markers. So we're gonna start here with yellow. Oh, these feel really nice. They have a little bit of a stickiness to them, like a China marker. Pretty opaque, not too bad. Not as opaque as the first three though that we tried. These are sold and designed for poster board. Probably white poster board. They have that little bit of a grittiness that, or I don't know if grittiness is the right word, but that a little bit of that feeling of, you know, you see the flecks of white paper like a crayon has. It will blend out a little bit. Oh, this baby blue is really opaque. And so is this brighter blue. They'll blend a little bit, but I think you might struggle filling in the tooth with this product. These are meant for bold lines. They do want to smudge a little bit, you know. You can kind of see them wanting to smudge together. I'd never seen these before. I saw them at Joann, so I was kind of excited to give them a try. Let's try this peach color. And the brown. Actually, let's do the brown and then do the peach into it. But that brown's nice and opaque. So these are actually fairly opaque, so I think they would show up on different poster board. This peach looks almost white. And I don't have a white. There's no white in this set, but I will do the black. Ooh, the black is nice and opaque. So these definitely feel like China markers. So, you know, if you wanted something like that, maybe for some mixed media, they're very vibrant. You know, they're these are all water resistant, so I think that would work out pretty well if you wanted something for, you know, in like a colored China marker, because sometimes the China markers can be kind of hard and scratchy, but these are nice and soft, so I might keep those just for that sort of thing. Now, the last, but certainly not least one I want to try is the Jane Davenport Power Pastels. They're these guys right here. I think I'm going to kind of readjust a little bit so that so at least my papers are on camera. And we'll give these a try. I think I will leave this, I'll leave the camera running for this because I think it'll be kind of fun to watch. So these are kind of like a cross between a crayon and an oil pastel. They do feel kind of like the, they're kind of a little stickier than the last one, and they want to kind of ball up a little bit on the paper. But they probably feel the most like the Crayola ones I just used. You can see how they kind of, they're quite opaque. I'm going to have to try those next to an oil pastel because maybe they're a little bit close to oil pastels. They're more opaque than I thought they would be, to be honest. Now these I don't think are available anymore because I was just looking for them. I looked on Jane Davenport's website, I couldn't find them. I looked on the Spellbinders website, which I think they were the ones that that created them with Jane. I think they came out through Spellbinders. Let's see, what do I want to go to? I'll just go to blue next. I don't have a purple. Ooh, look how opaque that is, though. Yeah, I think I might try them with my oil pastels and see, because they don't seem to be... They don't seem to blend like oil pastels either. They're definitely more... Whoops, where was I going? Right here. They're definitely more crayon feeling. They're kind of their own... Is that the one I just did? I think that's the one I just did. Yeah, they're not as smudgeable as oil pastels, and they're very, I don't know, the darker colors are more transparent and the lighter colors are going to be more opaque, which is pretty normal. Oil pastels do tend to be a little bit more opaque overall, even in the darker colors. I mean, I love that. That looks almost electric on the black. These might be best for like watercolor resist techniques. Now let's try a white. Ooh, that's nice and opaque. And let's try a black. And that's also very opaque. So let's take a look here and compare the different ones that we have swatched. Wow, that's really opaque with those in those lighter colors. I really kind of like that. Oh, and now the Power Pastels come with a clear stick for blending. So let's try that. Let's just try. They're kind of sticky feeling, to be honest. But I could see them having their uses. So let's look here. Let's look and compare. Still my favorite are the Crayola Color 2s. But I have to say that the Crayola Color Stix did pretty well. I think they would be a nice alternative to the Art Stix. So if the Art Stix were in the middle, the Color Stix would be a little bit harder, a little less pigmented, and the Crayola Color 2s would be a little bit softer and a little more pigmented, with the Art Stix from Prismacolor, the old ones you can't get anymore, being in between. So here you can see it as well. I would definitely say that if you like the Art Stix, if you want something that's harder, go for the Crayola Color Stix. They're beautiful. If you want something softer with more colors, go for the Neocolor one. They're going to be a lot more expensive, but they are a beautiful quality project. The plastic crayons, which I think most of these fall into the twistable crayons and the Deli and Bic ones, they are smooth and soft. I think they would be nice on light colored paper if you're doing some adult coloring books. If you look here, that would be this collection in here, these four. They're not very opaque on black paper, but on white paper they're beautiful, vibrant. They'd be nice for large areas. But if you like to use toned paper or like to use these on top of other media, I don't think they're going to have the opacity for you. You could use them as resists on like watercolor paper and do watercolor over them, but chances are they would probably fade if they're not in a sketchbook because they are kids' products. Going down to the Easy Peel, the Crayola Easy Peel crayons. Those would be these right here. They're fairly opaque on colored paper. Now this is black, so they will be more opaque on lighter colored papers. They'll be more vibrant on lighter colored papers, I mean. And they were nice and bright on here. You do get that gritty, grainy look like you do from crayons, so if you like that look, but you want something with a little more pigment, that would be a good option. That's these guys right here. And then we got the Davenport Power Pastels, which are really lovely, and a lot of the colors are nice and opaque on black. I think this would be fun to do signs with on like black poster board if you're doing projects like that. It would be a nice combination with the Crayola Easy Peel crayons. But they're kind of sticky, and they're just kind of, they drag a lot. They're kind of sticky. I think they'd be good for wax resist, but I think they're also a discontinued product because I couldn't find it anywhere. And that could be why. But they are very vibrant and kind of fun, but probably pretty limited in their use. They're not quite as soft and blendable as an oil pastel. They're not quite as hard as blendable as a colored pencil, so they're just kind of like that in that no man's land, kind of like grown-up crayons. They're kind of sticky and waxy like that. And then we had the Crayola, or the regular Crayola crayons, which were just more weakly pigmented. Didn't show up well at all on black, but they do make a crayon for black paper. They're, you know, they're fine for kids, and that's what they're designed for. So what I think I will do with this information is I think I will I will definitely keep the Neocolor 2s. I'm going to keep the Art Stix. Obviously you can't get them anymore, and I really like them. I'm going to keep the Crayola Color Sticks. I'll probably pass the plastic crayons on, and I'll keep the Jane Davenport ones because, I mean, look at this tin. It's just gorgeous. They're fun. I'll use them as accents here and there. And the Crayola regular crayons, I've had them for a long time. I've had them since the kids were little, but I might hang on to them just for, I don't know, if a kid comes over to my house. I can't imagine why a kid would come over to my house, but, or for, you know, library classes or something. But for my own personal use, I'm going to be sticking to these top 3, I think. But this was interesting. I've been meaning to do this for a while. And if you have any questions, let me know. I might keep these 2 just because they're kind of like China markers, and I think they would be kind of fun to use. Let's actually try peeling one of these back and see how easy it is to do that. 'Cause sometimes China markers are difficult to peel back. So peel that back, and I'm not sure what side I want to, sure what side to pick from. Well, I guess the other side. Oh, they peel off all right. Oh, now that I say that. These actually, some of these might be nice on plastic film. Yeah, they peel back fine. Maybe I should find some plastic film. Why don't I find some plastic film and see how these do on that, and see if they really would be a good China marker substitute. And we can try some of the other ones as well. I've got some Duralar here. I'm not sure if there's a better side to work on or not, but let's try this out and see how this does. And I'm going to put it, let's see, I'm just trying to see if, well, you know, let's test it. Let's see. That's side 1. Okay, I think this side works a little bit better. So let's see, this is the Project. I don't have a China marker handy to compare it with. Let's try the Power Pastels on the plastic. Oh, wow. Those are great on plastic. You know, these might be fun to do like window art or something. Yeah, those work great on the plastic. Oh, that's neat. Okay, so Power Pastels are great on plastic. Let's try Twistable Mr. Sketchy's on plastic. Meh. Crayola Twistables are also meh. Let's try the Deli plastic crayons. They're a little bit better. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the black works really well. So, yeah, those might be pretty good on plastic. If it's working on plastic, it probably work well on shrink plastic, too. Let's try our Karen Dash. Something tells me they'll be pretty good. Neocolor 1. They're good, but I don't like them as much as the Power Pastels. The Power Pastels definitely have a little bit more. Although, I wonder on shrink plastic, the Neocolor ones might do a little bit better. Well, let's try the Color Stix. And they're a little too hard, not pigmented enough, I think, for the plastic. Yeah, they're not that great on the plastic. Let's try the Bic. Yeah, they're too soft and not pigmented enough. We'll grab a couple. Let's just try a Crayola Classic. Yeah, they're like the Bic. They don't have enough oomph in them. But those Power Pastels, man, you could definitely work on a window or something, and then like scrape it off with a razor blade after you were done, after you didn't need it on there anymore. So, or if you just like working on plastic, maybe you like to work on transparency and layer it up over your artwork or something. The Power Pastels would be a great thing for that. Or if you are working on like a watercolor and you might want to make a change to it, you could lay the plastic over your watercolor and you could say, do I want to put a tree there? And you could, you could draw a tree and see what you think of that before you decided to commit it to your painting or something. And you could, you could do that. You could lay that over your painting and see how that looks before you decide to paint it in watercolor or something like that, or use that for an overhead presentation. I don't know. I think that's kind of an interesting use for those. So let me know what you think. If you like to use any of these products and you've got a great tip for me on how I can make them more useful, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I will definitely keep the top 3 in the Power Pastels as my art crayons, and the rest will either go in the school supply drawer or be given away to a preschool. Before I go, I have this little experiment I want to share with you, and you can see it here and here and here and here. And what I did was I used the Crayola Project crayon to lay down a base layer of color, just a very light base layer here, and then I could go over it with my colored pencils, and it acts as almost like a blending medium underneath. So you could pick the color that's the closest to what you want, and then it's a snapped color over it because you've already got that almost like that ground underneath that acts as kind of like a lubrication for the pencil. And then look at that. I mean, it's so easy to color over that and get the colors that you want. Just choose a color that's similar to what you want. Just choose like a base color that's close. And look at that. I mean, it's so vibrant on black. Now these colors would have been pretty vibrant on black anyway. It just would have taken a little bit more, work to blend it. So I thought that might be kind of like something interesting that you could do with your crayons, whatever kind they are, just to kind of give you like a little bit of a base layer. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe if you have any like strength issues, if it's hard for you to blend, if it's hard for you to burnish, this might be a good option for you. I like to use my Neocolor 2s under color pencil, but these are definitely more affordable. So there you go. That's, I just think it's nice to be able to mix media together and, save some time and get the look you want and all of that. So I thought I would share that with you. That's another little one that I did with that same technique. So have fun experimenting, and I will link all these things down below if they're still available. I think that these project crayons could be really nice just as a base layer. I'm going to keep them with my colored pencils for now. And I'll see if I use them, and if I don't, then I can pass them along to someone. But I think these, because they're the same length as my pencils, I think I can just put them in my pencil stand and use them for times where I want to, lay down a nice quick base layer of color to color over. But that's it. I have a video of an owl that I painted with the Neocolor 2s and Prismacolors, Neocolor 2s and Derwent drawing pencils, and I'll link that down below so you can check that out if you want to see that more in depth, more in a and I think I have some done with the Art Stix too, like a Bird of Paradise with the Art Stix. I'll link those tutorials down as well so you can find them, and you can obviously, instead of the Art Stix, use the color sticks or use the Neocolor 2s, but just to kind of give you an idea of what these crayons can do. But this video I want to be mostly just a comparison. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting!